All right, Loretta Fekisi for us in the Eastern Cape. There's been some new development in the Senzo Meyiwa murder case. We understand that Advocate Malisela Teffo is now back on the case for accused number 1 to 4. Our senior reporter, Chriselda Lewis, who's been following the proceedings for us, is now joining us in studio. Chriselda. All right, so Advocate Malisela Teffo had initially, and we remember it was quite a dramatic thing that we saw in court. In fact, he was derobing while in court there, and he said, you know what, I'm stepping down. I'm not taking on this case anymore. He'd withdrawn from it. And now we understand he's back on the case. What is happening? We saw you running after him, and now you'll be doing it again.
Yeah, Flo, there's always some dramatic twist in this particular case. What we now know is that Advocate Malisela Teffo is now back on this particular matter. He will be representing accused number 1 to 4 once again. And in terms of the correspondence, I just want to read some of that for you. He basically says that he's not going to withdraw in this matter, and that he's since resolved the withdrawal issue with all the parties involved. I believe this would be the other counsel in this particular matter. And he also basically says he's not going to withdraw because he wants to expose certain corruption within the National Prosecuting Authority as well as within this particular case. So he says that he also wants the National Director of Public Prosecutions, you would recall, he basically wants the charges against his clients dropped. He's still pursuing that in this particular matter. And remember, the dramatic withdrawal on the last sitting that we had, when we had spoken to him, he basically accused the court of not wanting to listen to him. There were quite a number of exchanges between himself and the presiding judge, Chifo Maumela. And
this is being allowed by the court. I mean, I would think that they're tired of all of this drama that's really taking away to a certain degree from the case itself.
But it doesn't seem like, Flo, that he's backing down from any of the things that he had previously brought to the court. What we do now know is that he's back on this case, but he's still firm. He speaks about, in this correspondence, corruption pertaining to the National Prosecuting Authority and within the police. He says, in fact, let me read, it is time to deal with the institutionalized corruption within the South African Police Service and the National Prosecuting Authority of South Africa. I'm prepared to deal with this corruption no matter how hard they're trying to destroy me. He believes there's a vendetta against him because he is representing the accused in this matter, because he took up this matter. Remember, this is not the first time that he's raised this. He even accused the highest office in the land, the presidency, of being behind some witch hunt to not see him proceed with this matter. In the days after that, we also saw a statement coming from the presidency, in which the presidency had basically lambasted those remarks, saying they were unfounded, and that the comments that Advocate Malisela Teffo had made in court were unsubstantiated. I remember it was Hugh who had a conversation with Vincent Magwenya, the spokesperson for President Cyril Ramaphosa. So in this instance, what we now know is that he's going to pursue the issue of wanting the charges against accused 1 to 4 dropped. He had already written to the National Director of Public Prosecutions, and the last time we had sat, there had been no decision on that matter, but what had basically taken over was this withdrawal of this particular matter. So basically what he's also talking about, he says that he doesn't want further discussions to be held about this particular docket. You would know that there are a number of interviews that have been granted to certain media,
to us,
from certain quarters as well, regarding some of those believed to have been involved in this particular matter. Certainly those are the allegations that he has made. So a lot has been said about the shape or form that this case will take. Remember, the matter had been postponed to the 2nd of August. So now on the 2nd of August, what we do know is that it had been postponed because they wanted to see if accused 1 to 4 will be able to get legal representation. Now we know Advocate Malisela Teffo is back on this particular matter. But he's not going to stop, Flo, on the issues of wanting the charges to be dropped, and also the fact that he believes that there is still some witch hunt and people who do not want to see him proceed on this particular case.
So our colleague Blaine Herman on his show had Advocate Teffo speaking to him, and one of the things that they discussed, and it seemed that Advocate Teffo didn't really quite know how to answer when Blaine Herman in fact quoted him as, was this a tactical withdrawal at that particular point? And now it raises that question mark yet again. Was he always planning to do this and then to come back onto the case? I mean,
was it a delaying tactic? Was it a delaying tactic? Very difficult to say, without reservation. But he had always believed that, those were not the right people in the dock. Those are his clients, after all.
Yeah.
He believed that those in the second docket are individuals who should have been in the dock answering to the death of or the killing of Senzo Meyiwa.
Yeah.
Was it another delay tactic? We don't know.
Yeah.
But he's back on the case again, and what the matter had been postponed to, which points to, I guess, another waste of time. The matter itself would not have been postponed to the 2nd of August, because it had been postponed to the 2nd of August to allow for accused 1 and 4 to get legal representation. Then we heard that the instructing attorney, Timothy Tobane, was going to take over this matter. He, in fact, had confirmed this. And then just shortly after that, now we're hearing that he's back on this particular matter. And in that correspondence, we see this conversation was actually had with other members of council to decide that, okay, in fact, he's back on the trial.
All right, well, Chriselda Lewis, get your sneakers ready. I suspect you'll be running after him yet again. Thanks very much for that update. Our senior reporter there, Chriselda Lewis, who has indeed been on the case of the trial into the murder of Senzo Meyiwa.